So the north end is Boobies, south end is Constantine.
Okay. Well, it's a naturist beach, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, is it called Boobies?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought it's because people have got their boobs out there.
No.
Sorry.
Get it, boys.
Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. Whoa, that's missing is the sea. But don't worry, you can sunshine.
Feel really aero, Andrew. I think this might be the most aero cafe ride ever.
What are you usually riding, a penny farthing?
Welcome to beautiful Cornwall, where I'm about to go on a bike ride with Andrew Ridgeley, who alongside his childhood pal George Michael formed one of the biggest, brightest, best pop acts of the 1980s, if not ever, Wham. And he's going to take me on a spin in one of his favourite places in the world, which incidentally is one of my favourite places in the world as well. Now, if you don't know too much about Wham, they sold about 30 million records during their peak and were the last UK act at the time of filming this video to have a UK #1 with Last Christmas. Now, apparently he's invited me to see meet up in one of the most beautiful car parks in the whole of Cornwall. Fair play though to Andrew, they've got plumbing supplies, we've got bathroom showroom, and I believe this is the cafe. And we're gonna go and have a cup of coffee here to start our ride. I believe it's going to be a long one as well. So I've been getting my training in. Where is he?
How
are you, Squire?
My dining companion, my breakfast companion.
I've just got to walk all the way around.
Oh, you're going to hop over this?
I could, it'd be too risky. Let's give it a quick handshake. Then I'll have another one in a second. We'll just come round. That was really awkward, wasn't it?
Sort of scurrying, wasn't it?
It was a scurry. Malcolm Barnicot's Bakery and Cafe.
Yes, the Baker non-parai, yeah. For Cornwall, southwest, I'd say perhaps even UK.
And a bold choice as well. You've ordered donuts.
I have actually brought you the X-Racer Special, which you will need because it's a tough day today.
Yeah.
And this puppy will give you everything you need.
Look at that! It can also double up as a microphone when we do a duet later. What a way to start a cafe ride. That's quite interesting. Thank you so much for joining us on this ride.
Thanks for having me.
I understand it's going to be quite considerable. This is going to be a proper cafe ride. You're taking me on an actual ride. So we're actually going to do some cycling, proper cycling.
We are, yeah. I'm taking you on the day 3, the finale of the Cream Tea Velothon.
Okay.
Yeah, so we go out of Padstow and then down the coast road to Watergate Bay. We'll stop at the Watergate Bay Hotel, have a coffee there, magnificent scenery, the most stunning location. Head back inland across the countryside and then fish and chips in Padstow, no less.
Let's call it an adventure, our Cornish adventure.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's call it that, because this is a place that is really dear to our hearts, isn't it, Cornwall? And we'll talk about that a little bit later. It is a magical, special place.
Yeah, I think for probably nearly every child born between 60 and, 50 and 70 has had a Cornish holiday. I mean, lots still do, obviously, but whilst it took 9 or 10 hours to get here.
We're going to pop somewhere beforehand, by the way, before we embark on the ride, just as a little surprise.
More donuts?
Could be more donuts.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, let's just leave it at that, but it's a little bit of a surprise we have for you, but this is great.
Well.
So to bring a little bit of a musical element, obviously, into the proceedings today, we thought we'd pop in here and...
I mean, I only ever go here for Texar. Right, here we go.
Here we go. Well, I tell you what, there definitely is. It's a lot of fabric Yeah, blimey.
It's a treasure trove. Very nicely done that.
That is quite nicely done, isn't it? Did you go beachcombing and pick up shells as a kid?
Yeah, not just as a kid actually. I was in the Scillies, and they're these bright yellow shells, the brightest, most vivid yellow, absolutely incredible. Got loads of them, took them home, and they faded. So over the course of sort of 6 months, all the colour faded out of them.
Wow.
Bit disappointing.
That is a bit disappointing, yeah. I
Should
thought there was
come
going to be a happy ending to that story. It was actually quite
it's a sad
morose.
ending.
It's sad. Right, well, here's the record section. Right, okay. Now, what we're going to... Do I have a quick look through, and then I've got a little task for us both.
Had that, loved local hero. Little known fact, George and I were big Genesis fans. Close to
Were you Peter Gabriel or
both?
Okay.
Both.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. George would have had everyone believe that he grew up on a diet of Motown alone, but that is not
He would
true.
like a bit of prog, a little bit.
Yeah, we saw them in at Earl's Court.
Right.
We didn't have tickets, and we got tickets returns or whatever they were right in the front row for the Seconds Out tour in '78. That was.
Wow.
And then the next year we saw them at Nebworth. Yeah.
Flipping heck, that's
Awesome.
amazing.
Absolutely awesome.
Well, right. I'm going to do what your mum and dad or your nan used to do back in the day.
Right. Might need a
I've
bit
just
more
looked at
than a
I've just looked at the prices of
Gonna need
these.
more than
I'm
a
going to have to
tenner.
give you 40 quid or 30 quid.
I don't think my dad was paid more than 30 quid
No.
in the 60s.
No, he wouldn't have been.
No.
No way. But put your hand out. Right then. There you
Oh,
go.
thanks, Dad.
Remember you used to do that? Right, go and get yourself something nice, all right? So get yourself a record.
My grandpa, when we go round on Sundays, and when we left, he'd have a sixpence, actually I think it was a half a crown.
Right.
Half a crown, and he'd put his hands behind the back, and he'd say, right, choose which one, and he'd go
That one.
He'd say no, and you go whoa, and
Yeah, sleight of hand, right, okay.
Yeah, and he'd say
That one again.
yeah, no.
You're good. You picked up the craft.
And it didn't matter what hand you chose. He'd order the one that had nothing in there. It used to get us absolutely squealing with delight. Love that.
I love those things. So
Yeah, so 30 quid is going to buy
30
me.
quid. So I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, just pick a record, but don't show me. And I'm going to pick a record. And then
Okay.
when we get to Watergate Bay, we will do an unveiling, and we'll talk about what the records we've chosen.
Whiz.
What do you reckon? Up for that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Right, I'm
yeah.
going to give you a bit of privacy then. We could
be
be
here
here
some
alongside. So just go and get yourselves a coffee, because it's actually a really good selection of records.
Yeah,
but you can only pick one, all right?
Yeah.
See you in a
Got
sec.
it. Oh man, hell's bells. Thing is, I did buy pretty much everything that I wanted. I had a fantastic record collection which got stolen in 1990, which was a real blow actually. Never really recovered, never collected records again.
Right, well, I'll go in.
Yes.
And just see. Have you got any tips on how I should approach this? Should I come from the heart, from the soul, from my mind, or should I go left field, or just be me?
Well, I just go through and just feel what you're feeling.
Feel it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
also,
yeah.
vinyl. The tactility of a vinyl record as well, and the
well,
sleeve and everything.
we would have both spent hours, I'd imagine, in record shops, just like I have, thumbing through, looking at the covers. The artwork was, part of the experience. Yeah.
I might be a few minutes, so just chat amongst yourselves. Grab a pasty. See you in a bit. I don't know where to start. That is a fantastic album. Andre 2000, and the other chap, I can't remember his name. Is it 2000 or 3000? Andre 2000! Because I know he watches the show. So, Andre, sorry.
That didn't take long.
It didn't, well, it kind of did, didn't it? We've been in nearly an hour, but I have chosen
That's a difficult choice when there are so many. Yeah,
it was pretty much the
classics in
soundtrack
there.
to both of our youths. Flipping heck, if you're ever in flipping Wadebridge, get yourself down,
Yeah,
get some
S3
espadrilles,
records.
some curtains, some tea towels. Shall we embark on the next leg of our adventure?
Let's head
Thank
off.
you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to stay
Really
a lot
kind of
longer.
you.
And we'll see you again soon, hopefully.
Yep, hopefully.
Nice one. Right, on y va. Cheerio. Andrew's cafe ride route around Cornwall is like a proper training ride, so I've chosen this super fast NV Melee road bike and paired it with Castelli Espresso kit. My lake shoes keep me comfy, and the Abus Game Changer 2.0 helmet has a sleek aero profile whilst protecting me from the Cornish seagulls. I feel really aero, Andrew. I think this might be the most aero cafe ride ever.
What are you usually riding? A penny farthing?
Wow.
So the barley not being cropped yet, and this was an airfield in the prior to the First War. I think they.
Wow.
I'm not sure whether they tested early aircraft, but there's a little plaque somewhere that tells you all about it.
Oh, right.
I think just here.
Oh, there we go. So they're like Zeppelins. It's an airship. Was based here. That airship was based here in 1918, and the dismantled mooring mast lay beside the road near to the Farmer's Arms for many years. We can maybe it might be still there, but that's a lovely little bit of history. Lovely little bit of history.
Yeah.
Oh, these lanes. Oh, they're so quintessentially Cornish, aren't
Not
they?
a bad place to be stationed.
No.
I wouldn't have thought. Well,
What have-
on a day like this.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm going to get my phone out and
Yeah,
just take a
we
photo.
normally do a photo here.
Should we do a little photo just
Yeah.
here? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let's just get my. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Keep.
Natural light as well. Well selected. He knows his stuff, doesn't he? He knows his stuff. Right then. Let's continue on. Just look at the colour of that sea as well. Harlem Bay. Look at that. Oh,
Yeah, archetypal.
That's just the
British
seaside
Harbour.
right there,
That is
isn't it?
Seaside.
the record shop gave me musical nostalgia, and now that beach is taking me back properly to the 70s and the 80s.
The multicoloured windbreaks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got everything.
Did you, when you went to the beach, did you buy a mallet for your windbreak, or did you use a local rock
I think
to hammer them in? What was your mode employed?
Depending on what my dad had remembered to bring along.
Oh, just stopping behind a Tesla. It's worth bearing.
Oh, a bus.
It's a
Magnificent.
double-decker bus. And just reminding people who are watching, thinking this, it is the height of the summer season in Cornwall.
Yes, it is.
Let's just remind people of that. Hey, all right. Now before you sail off into another video, be sure to like and subscribe. Constantine Bay. So that's just an in and out that road, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no looping round, so that's another beach that you used to go
Yeah,
to.
that's Constantine.
Yeah.
So the north end is Boobies, south end is Constantine.
Okay. Oh, it's a naturist beach, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, is it called Boobies?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought it's because people have got their boobs out there.
No.
Sorry. I've never felt nervous on a cafe ride, and this is it. The climb of Porthcothan, it's in red on me Wahoo.
Yeah, I think it's about 14% or something. And it obviously goes on for a little longer than one
Yeah.
would wish.
Yeah, please forgive us if we do stop talking.
It won't be long.
Combined age of about 120. We're going all right, aren't we?
Yeah. Pretty good, I'd say.
Flipping heck.
There we go. I must be a bit fitter than I thought. Mind you, Morgan Porth to come.
Right, here we go. We're actually going to pick up some serious speed. I'm going to drop into your slipstream, Andrew.
Oh, thanks.
All right, mate. We'll have to double check through the footage, Andrew, but that might be the biggest top speed of a cafe ride ever.
Here we go.
Right, proper climb now, guys. I'm going to take the outside curve and just hit it with some pace. Ridgeley takes the steep part using the torque we saw earlier.
Right. I'm going to settle in for rather a long
Quite a
drag.
long one.
Yeah.
Cracking, it's a proper ride.
Goes on, this one. You think it's over and it just keeps going.
I've nearly run out of gears.
You got one more.
I might save it.
Almost there.
Just recalibrating. Look at the view. Oh my gosh. How's that? Oh. Watergate Bay, we're here.
Yeah.
The old Boardmasters Festival's being rigged up at the moment. I mean, what a view though.
Yeah, it is glorious. One of the best views on the north coast. Good surfing beach as well. Low tide, low to mid.
Yeah.
Well, mid really.
Because you're
I used to surf
you've
a bit.
of surfing as well.
I used to surf quite a bit.
So
It's really hard, and you can only really do it when there's surf. And if you don't surf through the winter and keep yourself fit, come spring, if there's decent sized surf, you've got to be fit enough to be safe in the sea. So, and I kind of gave up one year when I came back from Bali, been surfing in 30-degree water, and got back here, it was 6 degrees, and I thought, I'm not going in. No chance.
That's when everything disappears into your body, isn't it? You don't need that. Yeah. But if we haven't sold Cornwall to you, you need to have a good hard think about yourselves.
We won't.
No, we won't. There's no point, is there?
Might do fish and chips later.
Fish and chips later and pasta might seal the deal. Anyway, should we pop down and grab some bit of lunch then?
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I am hungry.
That bit with the tractor behind us, we were doing some serious power, weren't we? I actually got a bit nervous I was going to blow. And I was hoping you would blow first, but we were like, oh, blimey, set it off properly.
I wasn't holding that for very long.
No, it was completely utterly unsustainable.
It began with a 3, which I don't really like.
No. Right, go and grab some lunch. We're here. Wow. What are you applying yourself to now? I mean, clearly you love your riding. I said some of the numbers, and I don't think we're even going to be able to publish the numbers because they're going to be too high, and people just won't believe them. But what are you applying yourself to now? What really brings you joy in life at the moment?
Well, cycling certainly does. That's my main form of socialising. Lots of my chums do it. My chums used to play footy or rugby and have told to do it, and carried injuries, got injured, and so cycling we can all do together. It's a great lever, and the electric bikes make it. I've got a chum who's recovering from a knee injury, and the electric bike is absolutely fantastic because he can still ride, and he can ride with us all, and he can protect the knee and how much effort he puts through and all the rest. So it's awesome. Then on the going back to the legacy, the Wham legacy has become an active programme subsequent to George's death, and we are in the middle of a kind of rolling programme of 40th anniversary events. So very busy with those, and that's fascinating and it's absorbing. There's a lot to it insofar as it encompasses a great breadth of different aspects. The design, merchandise, there's some actual creative musical some elements there. We a friend of mine, Drew Masters, we reimagined Club Tropicana for a contemporary legacy audience. The idea is always to try and bring in new audiences, and Wham does that to a degree anyway. We're lucky in that. The nature of the music really appeals to youngsters still. And there are many other different, we had the Wham documentary come out just last year, which was a big success, and that was a project that we've been working on for sort of 2-3 years. So there's quite a bit going on, which is nice at this sort of post-career.
Yeah. Let's be really honest, it's some of the most loved music, still brings new generations of people and people of our age who lived through it initially an immense amount of joy. Does that still surprise you?
It does, and I think over the last few years when I've been a bit closer to that, to the coalface, if you like, and to meet people for whom Wham has had left an indelible mark on their lives, it does surprise me. But the wonderful thing is the tracks sound, they don't sound dated. I mean, one or two may do to some people, but by and large, they still have the essential elements that made them novel and unique at the time. That energy, that sort of vitality, still
freshness.
It was captured in those recordings, and I think that's a large part of its appeal. And also, Wham itself, what it represented, the two of us and our friendship, and how we kind of lived out the evolution of our friendship through our latter youth. Through Wham, it was inextricably linked to us, and we were inextricably linked to Wham, and I think that had an appeal to people as well.
It certainly had an appeal to my sister, because again, we might touch about, just to explain the weird overlaps that you meet people in life, and I think it illustrates how small the world is. To put into context on the things we've said before, was that we lived for a period of time about 150 metres apart. So you lived on Ashfield Avenue in Bushey, and I lived on Highland Drive. We both went to the same junior and infant schools, and although they're 6-7 years apart, but played in the same playing fields. I went to Bunce's and did a paper around there, you did a paper around there. That's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't even know you then, I just knew you as Andrew Ridgeley from Wham. But I remember my sister was a massive Wham fan, and I was into heavy metal. So I was into Iron Maiden, but I had a pop sensibility. But back when you're young, things were a little bit more tribal. My sister Natasha got Make It Big, and I used to secretly listen to it. So honestly, she had posters of you. Yeah, I said pictures of you guys, Madonna all over the walls and stuff like that. But I thought these songs are amazing, but I didn't want people to know that I liked Wham. But I sneaked in and listened to them.
I think
and I had this metal
whole...
pretense, and it's utterly ridiculous. It's like now you'd sort of like, even bands like ABBA back then. It's like you can't really like ABBA, but secretly I did.
I think Jog and I, we listened to everything, and we grew up listening to everything. We enjoyed. We went to Genesis, we went to Queen, we went to Orange Juice and the Fire Engines, and everything in between. Back in the 70s and 80s, music did define youth culture. So
yeah, well, there's quite a lot, not divisive. Yeah, delineated was exactly what I was looking for. Where you had a look. I mean, and again, around that time there was like the Rude Boy look as well, with Madness the Specials, Selector, all those bands.
Our first band was a ska band.
Yeah.
We were the executive, and at that point in time, I was sort of a proto mod. Had my mohair suit from Sue Ryder and the Brogues, and I mean, at the time there were just so many offshoots. There was the new romantic thing came out just shortly, coincided to a degree, late 70s with the whole two-tone thing, and spawned the whole new romantic scene with Duran Duran, Spandau, Koshkov came out of that, and at the same time you had the whole sort of casual scene, which was a bit of an offshoot, rather more esoteric and music-wise. But
what were the shoes that you wore with the little labels on? Do you remember the kickers?
Yeah,
kickers and a feeler top.
Pods.
Was
it pods?
Yeah.
The pod shoe.
But you kept the label on, didn't you? Do you remember the Becky belts that used to hang down? Yeah, Becky belts.
Yeah, I do. I don't have one, but I do. Yeah.
I wasn't cool enough. I never had one. Should we reveal our choices?
Yeah.
It seems like a right moment to reveal our choices.
I think will be fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Okay, this is the one I chose.
Okay, great. Joy Division, Closer.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think.
Stone Cold classic.
Yeah, it is. Unknown Pleasures was music that I'd never heard before. It represents, I think, an era in British music and creativity. That late 70s, coming out of punk and new wave, it spawned us. You know, we were consequent to that.
Yeah.
It all informed us, Culture Club, Spandau. I mean, a host, Duran Duran, a host of bands that came to the fore in the early 80s. I think the original Close, I had a textured, beautiful card, textured.
Like an embossed
yeah,
colour, yeah.
And Unknown Pleasures and Closer were two of my. They were pristine. When I played them, they were pristine. They're in plastic covers. It was, as I said, a time of incredible creativity. The Police, U2, I know they're Irish, but they're all part of the same post-punk new wave thing. Squeeze came through punk, the Jam as well. It was all kind of this part of this incredible post-punk explosion of talent and unique artists and songwriters and creators. George was a huge fan of Joy Division as well.
I didn't know that.
No. A lot of people wouldn't. You know, he listened to everything and it all aggregated to that massive kind of musical inspiration and well of creativity.
Right, emerging out of the bag, ABBA Arrival.
Awesome.
Yeah, an amazing album, which the reason I've chosen this is for the complete opposite reason that you've chosen that, because ABBA were a band that they were the soundtrack to my youth. My mum and dad were massive fans. I think ABBA are one of my favourite bands, but it's also a reminder of like the fact that I was kind of borderline a bit closeted in terms of my musical tastes, and it took me to my 30s and 40s to actually think I want to like anything, and ABBA represent that to me.
Yeah.
I know they're one of the most important bands, whether it's like metal, whether it's punk, whatever.
The
Most people,
is outstanding.
It's the music is astonishing. I mean, I'm unashamedly a massive fan of ABBA, and this was a soundtrack to my youth. And I've now got the one the actual bit of vinyl that my mum had and she bought back then. And
the one that symbolises your Rubicon, your Damascene conversion.
Whatever that means, yes. Is there a particular song or part of the song that you wrote that you're particularly proud of when you look back at the work that you did, especially back then? Is there something that you think, because a lot of that stuff was written when you both were very young as well.
Yeah,
really young.
Yeah, we were young enough. You know, we wrote the songs that we got signed on were the first three songs that we wrote post the executive disbanding, imploding under the weight of its genius.
Right.
Yeah, and so we wrote Wham Rat, some of Club Trop, and even less of Careless Whisper. So, those, very proud to have written. Careless Whisper it didn't really fit in with at the time. When we in 80.
It is an outlier, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a beautiful outlier.
Yeah,
and that is
it was always an outlier until it became clear to us that actually Yog was going to go on in his career as a solo artist.
Sure.
And at that point, when he asked me to if he could release Careless Whisper as a solo, it just seemed to make absolute sense. We wrote it as a bit of a pastiche, really, of a love song, but it works for that, and it is, melodically, it's it's a work of genius.
I've got one question to ask about Careless Whisper. At what point did the sax solo become a thing? When did that get dropped in?
The sax solo in the demo was played on a Wasp, which was about the cheapest synthesizer you could get, and it sounded like a Wasp.
Right.
It literally
Right.
Yeah. So
So it's always there. It's just it evolved
we
into
didn't
a
have
sax.
sax.
Yeah. That's. I could sit here all day and talk about music, which is something that we both love. But
we need a couple of pints and more food.
we do need pork, and we're going to do that, aren't we? Maybe a little ice cream and definitely a pint.
Yeah, 100%.
You ready for leg 2?
Yeah, I am now.
Good stuff. Set it up. Right, let's do it. Ridgeley forced to the front by Stevens. The couple have had a conversation. We don't know what was exactly said between the two. Probably something about time bonuses and sitting on.
He's done this before, hasn't he?
Stevens looks across at Ridgeley, who remains seated, unemotional.
Clinging on for dear life.
Remains calm. Look at the core strength. Learned from the seat. The man was a surfer back in the day, especially in the mid-90s in his heyday. Right, I've got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
I've actually gone a bit lightheaded.
Yeah, and still a couple hundred metres
Yeah.
or so. And it kicks up at the end, which is always nice. Whew. And that is that.
That's that.
Morganporth North.
Christ. Officially the hardest cafe ride. Officially. You found another sprocket. You just leant on it using raw strength. And I was like, fuck. Sorry, I have to bleep that bit out, but blimey, has he gone too early? As you're watching this video right now, you can watch the video and simultaneously type in the comments. Please, let's see your love for Cornwall in the comments. You don't have to wait till the end of the video. So like it now, and then write in the comments how much you love Cornwall.
A place in our mutual hearts.
Indeed.
Well, mutual? I mean, we were sharing one, wouldn't it?
If we had a mutual heart, I guess we'd have one between us.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
But you did pluralise it.
Yeah.
So it's fine, mutual hearts, yeah. So.
Respective, I mean.
Yeah. You're right in the slipstream with a motorbike, and I'm not.
Tuck in, it's great. It's really nice here.
Even since yesterday, I've been looking forward to the end of the ride because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And as each pedal stroke towards the back end of today, I've been just thinking about the fish and chips because it's very difficult to think of anything more English, really, isn't it? You know, it's all
Fish and chips by the seaside.
by the seaside.
Yeah.
With the added spin of being on a lovely bike ride, and a bike ride where we pressed on a bit as well.
Yeah, for sure. Certainly works up an appetite. Yeah, it's a lovely bike ride, lovely day out.
It is. Well, as we've seen loads of families coming down here, haven't we? It's all on their bikes. That's what the humble bicycle does. It just brings people together, doesn't it?
Helps to have a good time, doesn't it?
It does.
Helps in having a good time.
Ridgeley not giving an inch. Surprisingly, hasn't dropped onto Stephen's wheel. They can see Rick Stein's just in the distance beyond the fishing yard. We're finally arriving.
Oh,
fantastic stuff.
yeah. Great day out that was.
It's absolutely fantastic.
And arguably the best to come.
Yes.
to a nigh-on perfect day.
It has been a proper adventure. It's been a culinary adventure. I've gone for classic cod and chips with gravy and mushy peas, and I insisted on real cutlery. And you've gone for haddock, haven't you?
I've gone for haddock. For me, it's got a slightly firmer texture, bit of a meatier fish.
Yeah.
It's my fish and chip of choice.
Fish and chip of choice of Andrew Ridgeley.
Yeah,
Is haddock.
glorious.
But Andrew, thank you so much for being so generous with your time.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been brilliant.
It has.
What a magnificent day.
Yeah, top. Top day out, a grand day out.
Thank you very much indeed. That breeze block, and I'm no historian, I think are more contemporary than 1918.
I would say so.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I would say so.
I'm not sure of the genesis of the breeze block.
No.
Yeah.
It's just based on loose bits of information that I've collated over the years.
Breeze blocks of the West Country.
Breeze block, yeah. I mean, there's got to be a mini-series in that, Andrew.
God, it's definitely a podcast.
Definitely. Probably start off as a pod and build from there. Right. So Andrew, I did a previous catch-up with David O'Doherty, a comedian who's a musician as well, and when I went into his house he had a keyboard, 2 keyboards, and the first thing I saw on top of the keyboard was some sheet music, Careless Whisper. So we basically started to sing it. And this was before we even knew we were doing a cafe ride with you, so I'm just going to turn the volume up. So what a crossover! Shall we just leave that?
What happened there?
Yeah, I mean there was
That's some horrible sort of seizure.
Yeah.
Hi.
No, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Oh, anyway,
Wow.
do you know what? It's been a lot. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Cheers.